we got a trailer, or not a trailer, but like a kind of what was supposed to be an end credit scene released from Ryan Reynolds himself.
A deleted scene.
Yeah, showing Gambit kind of walk around the battlefield that they had just slaughtered all the past X-Men villains on. And he turns around and there's like a reflection of the Marvel Sparkle Circle in his eyes. And I think this isn't for nothing. I don't think they would release this just for a joke. I think they did cut it out because they weren't obviously sure how the reception to that character was going to be. But I do think, and from what I heard, like in the actual movie on one of the TVA monitors, that scene is showing for a brief moment, like him walking around and like turning around. So here's my thought. I don't think he'll get a spinoff movie because there's no way they like invest that heavy into this character. That was kind of a joke in a sense. I think what they do is they reuse him for an Avengers movie, or he gets his own like animated show. And because I think it would be easier to put that together than to give him his own movie. And I don't think they want to give just anyone a movie in this Marvel universe, right? And I think they're like the animated stuff can serve the lesser stories.
Because that defeats the purpose of this whole thing. If you were to make it animated, it's nothing. It means nothing, because the whole point of having Channing Tatum come back, and also to put this out where Ryan Reynolds has said we need more of this. Like Channing Tatum was meant to play this role. Like I loved him in this role. We need to see more of him. If you were to be like, yeah, Channing, it was great. Everybody, reception of you has been great. We're going to make an animated show where you, again, will not be putting it on. You'll just be voicing the character. I think would be like, I'm sure.
I think he would love it. I think he would do it in a second.
I'm sure he would. But I think it would be a wasted opportunity. And I think that nobody really wants that. Nobody really wants that.
But there's no way he's getting his own like show or movie in live action.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that he's going to get his own movie. I think he might show up in like an Avengers project. Right. I think that's very unlikely. What I think this means is that he is probably going to be a part when the X-Men do come. He will be the Gambit for that X-Men team. Yes.
Like when Marvel's like original like not like from the past Fox, like you're saying their own X-Men come in, he would be a part of them.
Yes.
Wow. I'd be willing to bet that's not true. But I don't know. I mean, maybe like it's for sure possible. I just think it was made so apparent that like this Gambit was a part of this like era of Fox movies that we were like leaving behind in a sense. I know we just got this teaser that kind of teases more of him. But I feel like like all of those characters still belong to the past Fox universe, and then once Marvel has their own characters they want to like actually create and bring in and have their own universe, they'll have an entirely new cast. Like I don't think there's going to be a single remnant. But
here's the thing, he never even like I understand what you're saying,
right? Because
he never even was.
Yeah, he never appeared in any of those movies. You're right.
And if we're still gonna deal with like variants and all that stuff, he can just play Gambit, maybe just like a teensy tiny bit differently. A little bit different.
I think the next time we see him, there's no way he'll like be doing a funny voice anymore. Like I think he'll take the voice like incredibly much more serious. Yeah, but I think it'll be a different kind of portrayal, right?
But I think that you could still totally have Channing as the next Gambit, who's a different Gambit, but like still Gambit. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. I guess in all of our theories though, that scene of him like kind of grinning back and like it's being teased that he'll show up again. Neither of our theories like match with that, you know, because it's not because like our character, like those characters aren't the same Gambit.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, so if we're looking at this just based on like if that Gambit was to come back,
Because I do kind of agree with you. I think you're kind of on the right track.
if this particular Gambit was to come back, they're not going to make, like you said, they're not going to make a whole movie based on this one portrayal when they know that they're probably going to have another Gambit, hopefully still played by Channing Tatum in the future.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do that. I think an animated series would be like, it's the same thing as like having Napoleon Dynamite, the movie, and then Napoleon Dynamite, the animated show that came out. It's like, you're not getting what you came for. They're two different mediums and it's not what I want. But if we're talking about this portrayal, the only thing that I could see him coming back for is either A, Secret Wars.
Yes. Yeah.
Or B, which I think is probably the most likely, or B, him showing up in the next Deadpool movie, and it's a bit like, I don't know, Gambit and Deadpool go and do something, you know, take down a Louisiana villain. I don't know. So
yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, yeah, if there is ever Deadpool 4, he could easily show up. I think that's a very real possibility. I don't think I even really considered that. That might be my favorite spot where like it's either that for me, like him showing up in Secret Wars, or he shows up in a Deadpool 4 and he's part of like his crew now. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, and I think the point of this being released is Ryan Reynolds really loved having Channing Tatum play this character.
He believes in him and like in this character.
Yeah.
Like, he really loves it. Yeah.
And I think that you know, it's kind of reminiscent of like, you know, when he leaked the Deadpool, you know, test footage. But I think this is like, yeah, we're gonna pretend like I leaked it, but it's like Disney definitely gave him.
Yeah, it was from his own Twitter account, right? Yeah.
And I think that with the great reception that this particular character's had, and all the great buzz about it, and his portrayal, also just to put this out is like I feel like an extra feeler of like, hey, are you guys excited if we do?
Yeah,
like we're fairly certain that you are,
right?
And
this is teasing a return. How do you feel? Right.
Yeah. And I think everybody's been like, yes, we would like that.
I've only seen one like negative tweet that like kind of got a lot of likes about it, but
which was about,
what? Basically like the tweet, the guy was like, you know, like it was fine for one appearance, but like, please don't like have him back again. And it got like 25,000 likes or something. And I was like, oh, okay.
I think that I agree with that a little bit, because I think that's probably coming from a place of I really hated how like funny he was.
Yeah. If you're a true Gambit fan, I mean, I guess I think that made a lot of people happy, his appearance, but like they could do without the jokingness of it, right?
Right, which is what I'm guessing is what that is coming from. So in that regards, yeah, like I'd like to see him come back in like another
different way. Yes, agreed. I don't want to see right. I don't want to be like having to guess what he's saying, you know. which is fun, right? But like for another movie, I think I can do without.
Yeah.
Well,
but I do think that he's coming back.
Yeah, I would agree.
One way or another,
for sure.
Just not an animated show. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like with the animated show too, it's like they've very clearly stated that like an animated universe now is like everyone is actually animated, so it couldn't be the same character from this movie, you know. So yeah, I agree. I don't think that's gonna happen. But
And I just feel like they would like, part of the thing that was funny about him was that all these characters, like, they were real life human beings.
yeah,
And he's talking like, "Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself," and it's just the most ridiculous thing that somebody could say. And to put it into an animated context, like, I just feel like I'm gonna get a super exaggerated version of that.
yeah.
And,
Plus, like, yeah,
and
like
it's
you said,
already like gonna be like, we're already kind of expecting characters to be elevated,
right.
So it's like, how much of that am I actually gonna be thinking is like fun or novel? Like, I don't know.
Sure. And you said it earlier too, that like the people came to see or would come to see Channing Tatum play the entire character, not just voice.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that captures the magic of his entire performance, you know? And so, yeah, I definitely agree. I think we're on the same page.